How's it going, everybody? My name is Salty and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best class setups here for you going into Season 4 of Black Ops Cold War. Starting us off here at number 10, we're going to have the Stoner 63. This used to be number 1 on my list and a lot of people's lists until the nerf of the Task Force barrel, making the recoil virtually impossible to control, which really balanced out the weapon in the effective damage range and bullet velocity categories, meaning you can't gain 100% of absolutely everything. But let's jump into that class and show you why it's at number 10. Now, the OPTIC here is a big preference for me. I like to use the Vision Tech 2 times. It's, like I said, a preference. If you have a sight that you like to use more, I definitely recommend you do that. For the muzzle, we're going with the Infantry Compensator for 15% vertical recoil control. This is just to eliminate all the vertical needs you will have while running the Stoner. Very good attachment here with only a 10% horizontal recoil control negative there. When we get down to the underbarrel, it really won't matter. Now, where the class setup has really changed here is you're going to want to go with the 16-inch cut down for 25% shoot moving speed with 0 cons. Like I said, the Task Force really gave it some recoil problems, and the barrel truthfully made the gun overpowered. As you can see here, you get 100% effective damage range and now 41% bullet velocity, which would still be a very good option. But like I said, an LMG is meant to be powerful, used at long and medium ranges, and the recoil is just not controllable. Therefore, the cut down becomes the next best in line, giving you some movement speed. For the body here, we are going with Gunfighter, so the body will be necessary. I like to use the Steady Aim Laser for an added 20% hip fire accuracy. However, you can really use any of these if you have one that you prefer more. On to the underbarrel, the ffar speed grip. You are using an LMG, so added sprint moving speed is just extremely important there, along with 15% horizontal recoil control, eliminating all of that added with the muzzle, plus you get 5% added horizontal. It's basically a laser beam shooting across the map. For the magazine, the normal fast mag here, you get 25% reload quickness with 0 cons. I personally do not like running any of the other mags. If you want more bullets, you can definitely go with the 100 round here, but you do have to realize that the reload speed will be extremely slow. The other ones, you just lose aim down sight time, and the aim down sight time is already slow because it's an LMG. For the handle, the airborne elastic wrap, 30% aim down sight time, some flinch resistance, the ability to drop shot. The aim down sight time is the most important part of this handle. As you are running an LMG, aim down sight time is slow, so the most amount possible is definitely necessary. And finishing off this build with the SAS combat stock for 10% shoot moving speed and 75% aim walking movement speed. The build is primarily around that movement, and it is extremely important if you're running an LMG, if you're going to be taking long range gunfights, that you kind of move side to side. Makes you a lot harder to hit as a target. Sliding into the number 9 spot, we're going to have the PPSH, the new SMG from back in Season 3. What makes this thing basically better than something like a bullfrog is the power. It does have the same-ish ammo capacity, but the recoil is definitely a little more controllable, and at the end of the day, it hits a little harder than the bullfrog. So let's slide into those attachments. With this build, you can go with perk greed here, which is important if you're going to be running an SMG, because you get to run the flak jacket, attack mask. You can even run gung ho, ninja, spycraft. Just all those perks are necessary if you're going to be rushing around with an SMG. Now, getting us started here with the muzzle, we're going with the Spetsnaz Compensator, 12% vertical recoil control. Basically eliminates all of it, makes it shoot just a straight line, which can be important if you get into a medium range gunfight with an SMG. Just extremely important that you do run a recoil control attachment here, because without it, there is some recoil that can be uncontrollable. For the barrel, we're going with the 14.9-inch Ranger for 100% bullet velocity. The PPSH has the lowest bullet velocity in the SMG category, so as much there as possible is 100% needed. So if you go here, it only gets 400 meters per second, which is extremely low at the end of the day. And if you look, if I go with the rifled here, you're down to 200. That is not enough to be competitive with an SMG. So Ranger, 100% the best barrel here. For the underbarrel, the Spetsnaz grip, 8% vertical recoil control, along with 22% horizontal recoil control. This gives you the ability to get into medium range gunfights with little to no recoil control needed. By far the best underbarrel you can be running here. If you find that you can definitely control the recoil, you can jump down to the speed grip here. Just know you're going to have to be pulling down on that analog stick a little harder to be controlling the recoil. but you won't lose as much movement speed running the speed grip. Now, one of the biggest reasons this weapon gets put at number 9 is the 71 round drum here. 71 bullets is a lot of bullets. Let's just say you can feed on 10 enemies before you have to reload, which is absolutely awesome. There are some other options you can go with here, like the 55 round drum if you feel you do not need all of the 71. This will give you no ADS penalty like the 71 round drum here. It gives you 18%. However, I don't seem to notice it has a pretty decent aim down sight time, even with that 71 round drum. And finishing us off with the handle, the GRU Elastic Wrap. 30% sprint to fire time, the flinch resistance, and the ability to drop shot. Drop shotting is important when running SMGs if you are rushing, just basically making them miss their shots. Anything you can do, jumping, drop shotting, making them miss their shots is important in those close ranges. And of course, the maximized aim down sight time is extremely important. Moving over to number 8, we have the KRIG 6, the go-to weapon for the pros right now. Little recoil, great damage range. Only thing lacking is the bullet velocity, but with the barrel we run, it just completely makes up for it. A very usable weapon in a lot of situations. Getting us started here with the mill stop reflex. I know a lot of people like to use the microflex LED. However, the reason I go with the mill stop here is you get a 1.37 magnification, which does make it zoom in just a little bit, makes it a little easier to hit those long range and sometimes even medium range targets, helps it even take people off head glitches. So I recommend giving it a try. However, if you have a sight you enjoy more, you can definitely go with that. For the muzzle, the infantry compensator for 12% vertical recoil control. There really isn't much in the vertical category. However, this basically makes it so you don't have to control it at all. You can just shoot the gun and it will basically control the recoil for you. Makes it extremely easy to hit headshots, makes it extremely easy to take people off head glitches at long range. Overall, great muzzle here. I wouldn't recommend another one at all. For the barrel, the 19.7-inch Ranger for 126% bullet velocity. This just makes the gun what it is now. Just completely laser beams. You shoot and it hits them instantly from basically all ranges. If you go to the stats here, we get 1,553.1 meters per second in the bullet range category, along with the effective damage range of 50.8 meters. This thing is absolutely awesome. It is a 4 to 5 shot at most at basically all ranges. Just in a fantastic assault rifle when this barrel is added. Because we're going with gunfighter, we need the body category taken care of, so I like to use the steady aim laser for 20% hip fire accuracy. But if you have something that you like to use more, such as the Tiger Team Spotlight, you can definitely go with that. For the under barrel, we're going with the ffar speed grip. All vertical recoil control needs we're taken care of with the muzzle, so we have the speed grip here to take care of 16% of the horizontal recoil control and an added 5% sprint moving speed bonus. All right, now we have the magazine. The 50 round mag does have somewhat of a slow reload speed, but 50 bullets is a lot. You can take care of 5, 6, 7 enemies before you have to reload, in which you can get yourself to a safe space to do so. The 50 round fast mag really isn't needed, as you lose 25% aim down sight time. With the 50 round mag here, you're losing 15%, but still an extremely fast ADS time. For the handle, we're going with the serpent wrap for 25% aim down sight time. I don't go with the airborne on this build, because when we get down to the stock, you'll see exactly why. You're losing 10% shoot moving speed here, which takes away that ability to strafe while shooting. Extremely important while running the KRIG, so let's get down to the stock. And finishing us off with the stock, the SAS Combat for 5% shoot moving speed and 40% aim walking movement speed. Maximize that strafe speeds while shooting and walking with the sights aimed down. Strafing is important while running an assault rifle, especially get into a close range engagement with an SMG. So by far the best stock here for the KRIG. Now, some people may disagree with me here, but at number 7, I have the MILANO 821. This thing's damage is out of this world in the close range category. There's really nothing that beats it unless you get one pump by a shotgun. The damage on this thing, especially with a headshot involved, is just absolutely nuts. It's one of my favorite SMGs to use in the game. Now, getting us started with the infantry compensator for 12% vertical recoil control. I know some people like to use the SOCOM because you get 15%. However, you're sacrificing shoot moving speed, which can be a problem while running SMGs at close range engagement, so I don't recommend. Infantry is definitely enough. You may need to hold down on the analog stick to control the recoil a little bit, but the compensator is definitely enough. For the barrel, the 10.6-inch task force, 5% extra damage, 50% effective damage range, and 75% bullet velocity. It does lack in both the effective damage range and bullet velocity categories. Therefore, you need to really use the task force. If you're using the other ones, it does take care of those singular categories. However, this is by far the best one, and it adds that 5% damage, which basically makes them a 3-shot at close range. For the underbarrel here, we're going with the normal foregrip for 12% horizontal recoil control. It does have some bounce when you add that task force barrel side to side. Therefore, the horizontal recoil control is 100% needed. I don't see the need to go with the speed grip here, as you're actually losing some movement speed in the strafe categories. So I go with the normal foregrip. Since we're not going to be running a stock on this build, the strafe speeds are 100% needed. For the magazine, the 55 round drum, plenty of bullets here, not sacrificing. 25% aim down sight time here while running something like the 55 round fast mag. You do lose 15%, but it's still a very fast ADS time. You get plenty of kills here, get yourself to a safe space, reload, and get right back into the action. And finishing us off with the airborne elastic wrap to maximize the aim down sight time on the weapon. All right, getting to number 6, we have the only tactical rifle on my list. We have the Carve .2, the low recoil, the fast fire rate, the decent damage. There's no reason this thing should not be in the top 10 class setups for Black Ops Cold War. There has been no nerfs to the weapon. I'm actually extremely surprised about that. It's not like a weapon that seems to be even used a lot. I feel like it's like a well-kept secret. Let's get down to these attachments to show you why this thing is so good. Starting us off with the silencer, you lose 15% bullet velocity, but the ability to stay off the map hidden with your enemies with this weapon is extremely important. You can play close range with it, you can play medium range. I don't recommend long range, as the effective damage range drop off is quite extreme, but it's definitely a attack rifle you can play extremely aggressive with, so this makes it so much easier to streak up, get your score streaks, get a nuke, anything like that. As you see here, the bullet velocity is already very decent at 514, especially if you're sticking to the medium and close range engagements. You will have no problems at all. For the barrel here, we're going with the 20.8-inch strike team. You get 5% extra damage and an added 13% to the fire rate, which is why this thing works so well in the medium to close range categories. You do get that 25% effective damage range drop off, but like I said, stick to the medium and close range. You should have zero problems here. That minus 10% idle sway control, I don't seem to notice. I don't find myself aiming down the sights for a long period of time with this thing, because you're not taking long range engagements. That's the thing. I keep saying medium and close range. This thing will 1 burst at close range, and at most you're 2 bursting in the medium range. This barrel is amazing. It makes the 1 burst potential even higher, and that fire rate increase just makes the gun even better. For the magazine, we're going with the 63 round drum. 63 bullets is a lot. That is like wiping out an entire team and possibly picking off 2 or 3 more. You do sacrifice aim down sight time here with 15%, but the aim down sight time is extremely fast when we get down to the handle. For the handle, the airborne elastic wrap, 30% aim down sight time, maximizing that category, along with some flitch resistance and the ability to drop shot. The aim down sight time is the big category here. Just really no reason to not maximize it. And in the stock category, we're with the tactical stock for 20% aim walking movement speed with 0 cons here. A lot of people would say, why not go with the Raider pad? The hipfire accuracy is the reason. That's minus 30%. And with a burst rifle, actually hipfire accuracy is extremely important. If you're going to get into a close range engagement, you really have 1 shot at it. If you don't hit a hipfire spread while you're trying to get in position to get the kill, you're probably going to die. So hipfire accuracy is extremely important, making the tactical stock the best one to go with here. At number 5, we have the XM4. There's a reason it's banned in competitive play. This thing is an absolute just beast. It's amazing. Let me tell you, this thing is extremely fun to use. Let's get into these attachments. Starting us off with the Microflex LED. As you know, I went with the mill stop on the KRIG. The XM4 is a weapon you can definitely play more aggressive with because of the fire rate. Therefore, you don't really need any zoom. Again, as I've said with the other optics, if there's one you prefer more, you should definitely be using that. For the muzzle, I like to use the infantry compensator for 12% vertical recoil control. You do get some horizontal there, but when we get down to the handle, it really won't matter all too much. It does need a recoil control attachment though. If you still find yourself struggling, the SOCOM Eliminator is a definite option for you. Just know you'll lose some shoot moving speed. Just like with the KRIG, you're going to want to go with the Ranger barrel here for 100% added bullet velocity. You get up to 1300 in the bullet velocity category here with a very decent effective damage range of 45.72 meters. Maximizing the bullet velocity on assault rifles is important if you're going to be taking medium to long range gunfights, so no reason to not be running it. I know some people like to use something like the Task Force or the Reinforced Heavy. Like I said, that 45 meter effective damage range is already very good. There's really no reason to add to it. For the body, the steady aim laser, as I've said before, if there's one of these body attachments you like to use more, you can definitely go with that. For the underbarrel, we're going with the FSFOD speed grip, 5% sprint moving speed, which is important if you're going to be taking some close range engagements with the XM4, and 15% added horizontal recoil control, getting rid of the horizontal recoil control negative with the muzzle. For the magazine, the 50 round mag, maximize the ammo capacity. You do have to consider that it does have a slow reload speed with the 50 round mag, but you don't want to lose 25% aim down sight time. You can technically do this if you plan on playing slower and you want to reload quickly. However, if you play like I do, you're aggressive, sacrificing aim down sight time is not a good thing. For the handle, we're going with the airborne elastic wrap to maximize the aim down sight time on the weapon. Like I said, if you're going to be getting into close range engagements or even medium range engagements, the aim down sight time is going to be important. And finishing us off with the Raider pad, 30% sprint to fire time along with 40% aim walking movement speed. I know some people like to use the SAS combat stock, so if you are someone that likes to kind of play slower and strafe side to side back forward, making it harder to hit, the SAS combat stock is a good go-to. However, if you're going to be playing aggressive, the Raider pad is the best option. At number 4, we have the RPD taking the new best LMG spot from the Stoner 63 because you can run the task force on this LMG. I'm telling you, this thing is an absolute beast. If you haven't tried it, make sure you give this class setup a go. In the optic, I go with the Vision Tech 2 times again and again and again. I keep saying if there's an optic you enjoy using more, I really mean it. You should definitely be using that. For the muzzle, the Spetsnaz compensator for 15% vertical recoil control. That's definitely needed while going with the Task Force barrel. Speaking of the Task Force barrel, that's exactly what we're running here. 5% added damage, 100% effective damage range, along with 44% bullet velocity. Look at the statistics on this thing. 50 meters, you kill in 4 bullets at all ranges, 982.91 bullet velocity there. Just absolutely awesome barrel. The recoil is definitely controllable when you add the muzzle and the underbarrel. For the body, steady aim laser. I really recommend you stick with this one because hip firing with an LMG can be important. If you get in a pinch with a close range engagement, you're not really going to want to be aiming down the sights. You'll lose your target. So I highly recommend you stick with this one. For the underbarrel, the VDV speed grip, all of the vertical recoil control was taken care of there with the muzzle. So we're going to need to take care of that horizontal. Exactly why we got the speed grip. In the added bonus of 12% sprint moving speed, you already move slow with an LMG, so that bonus is just huge. On to the magazine, the 75 round speed mag with the nerf of the RPD and all of the LMGs. The RPD got an ammo capacity nerf, which actually extremely surprised me there. You only get 50 bullets with the fast mag there, which is not enough if you're going to be running an LMG. It's not enough. The 75 round speed mag, you do lose some aim down sight time, but the extra bullets are definitely necessary. For the handle, the GRU elastic wrap to maximize the aim down sight time on the LMG. And finishing us off with the Spetsnaz PKM stock for 10% shoot moving speed, along with 75% aim walking movement speed. Like the Stoner, I said strafe speeds are important with LMGs, especially if you're getting into medium and long range engagements. It just makes you harder to hit while you're strafing. At number 3, the AK-47. By far the best AR here in Black Ops Cold War. First weapon to get GA'd out of the competitive scene. Let's get down to the class setup. This thing basically has no recoil at all. Starting us off with the muzzle brake 7.62, you get 4% vertical recoil control, which is really all you need. When we get down to what underbarrel we're running, it is important though that you know you will be on the map. You're going to be painted there for a while. It's not like running a suppressor. I know a lot of people like to run suppressors on the AK-47, but where the AK-47 lacks the most is the bullet velocity and effective damage range. So you don't want to be going negative in those categories. If you find yourself struggling to control the recoil, you can definitely go with the Spetsnaz compensator. You will get 12% there, but just know you will be getting an 8% horizontal recoil deduction. Like I just said, where the AK-47 lacks the most is the effective damage range and bullet velocity categories, which is exactly why we're going with the 18.2-inch VDV reinforced, 100% effective damage range, 40% bullet velocity. When we get to the stats here, 76 meters is the effective damage range. That's crazy. That's so far when you think about it. That's like hitting 5 bullets at most at all ranges. That's crazy. And then you got 982.8 in the bullet velocity category. You shoot and it'll basically immediately hit them. Best barrel by far you can be running here, with the negatives of sprint moving speed and aim walking movement speed, but when we get down to the stock, you'll see why the strafe speeds aren't huge. For the body, the steady aim laser. Again, if you guys have a body attachment, you prefer more, go with that. Now for the underbarrel, this is where it basically gets no recoil at all. We got the Spetsnaz grip, taking care of all your vertical and horizontal recoil control needs. There's not much need to say here. You do lose some shoot moving speed, but the AK-47 is so powerful, you won't even really need to strafe. For the magazine, the Bakelite 50 round mag. You do lose some aim down sight time there, but it's not extreme and it is definitely manageable. You get the most ammo capacity as possible, and the reload speed really isn't that slow if you want my opinion. It takes like a second. You can feed on a bunch of enemies, reload at a decent speed, get right back into the action. If you find yourself struggling with the reload speed, you can go with the 50 round fast mag here, but just know you're losing 25% aim down sight time, and that does come into factor. For the handle, the Serpent Wrap, we don't want to lose any more shoot moving speed. We've already lost quite a bit there with the barrel and the underbarrel, so 25% aim down sight time is definitely enough. Finishing us off with the Spetsnaz PKM stock to make up for some of that stray speed we've lost with the barrel and the underbarrel. You get 5% shoot moving speed along with 40% aim walking movement speed. At number 2, we have the AK-74U. I know a lot of you were expecting this to be at number 1, but when we get to number 1, you probably won't be surprised. This thing has been a staple since the game came out. It's been nerfed, it's been buffed, it's been nerfed again, it's been changed, the attachments have been adjusted, and it is still one of the best, if not the best SMG in the game, depending on who you're talking to. It's the go-to for the pros. Let's show you why. Now, this isn't a pro class setup. I know this isn't the barrel they typically run on the AK-74U in the competitive scene, but for public match sake, we're going with the 10.3-inch Liberator, where the AK-74U lacks the most is the bullet velocity category, so maximizing that is extremely important. For the handle, the Spetsnaz Speed Grip, you really don't have much to worry about in the vertical recoil category. It's extremely manageable, but where you do have to worry is the side to side, which is exactly why the Speed Grip here takes the cake over the rest of the underbarrels. 18% horizontal recoil control, along with a 3% sprint moving bonus, which is important if you're going to be running around with an SMG like the 74U, getting aggressive with people. Now, this is the only build that I like to use the fast mag on. The reload time on the 50 round drum is just ridiculously slow, and I find myself not being able to reload quickly enough. Therefore, 50 round fast mag for me. If you want to give the drum a try, you definitely can, but I found myself struggling, and I think you might as well. For the handle, the GRU Elastic Wrap to maximize the aim down sight time on the weapon. Getting into close range engagements, the fastest ADS time is extremely important, and while we're running the 50 round fast mag, you lost 25%, so we definitely need to make up for it. Finishing us off with the KGB Skeletal Stock for the 30% sprint to fire time and 10% aim walking movement speed. And now with the number 1 spot, we have the LC10. There's no reason this shouldn't be at the number 1 of everyone's list, especially when you get this class setup. Virtually no recoil, extremely good damage range. It's been broken, it's been nerfed, and it's still broken. Let's get into the attachments. This thing is too good to not share. Now, starting us off with the Agency Suppressor, you do lose some damage range there, but like I said, the damage range is already very good, and it's an SMG. There's no reason you should be shooting across the map with it. It gives you some vertical recoil control there. It does have a smidge of a bounce, but this definitely takes control of it. But the suppressor part of this attachment is what's the most important. Being able to fly around the map, kill enemies, and people basically not knowing where you are is huge, especially with an SMG. You don't want to be getting red dot chased everywhere, and I know by experience it's extremely annoying. So, Agency Suppressor. Where the LC10 lacks the most is the bullet velocity, just like the AK-74U, which is exactly why we're going with the 14.5-inch Ranger to maximize it. You get 820 meters per second, which is almost up there with ARs, which is crazy. This thing is nuts in the bullet velocity category. You'll shoot and they'll basically hit them. If you want to take a long-range gunfight, you can. Don't recommend it, but you definitely can. For the magazine, the 55-round mag, that's a lot of bullets. The reload speed really isn't too bad, to be honest. You don't want to be going with the 52-round fast mag. You lose 25% aim down sight time. Here you lose 15, but the aim down sight time is definitely manageable. For the handle, the Airborne Elastic Wrap, maximize the aim down sight time on the weapon. I've basically said it with all the SMGs. Aim down sight time is important while running SMGs. If you're going to be aiming down sights, getting into close range engagements, definitely recommend. And finishing us off with the Raider stock, 30% sprint to fire time, gives you the ability to pull up your gun quicker, and 10% aim walking movement speed. I'm telling you, this class setup is insane and by far the best weapon in the game. You should definitely give this one a try. If you don't give any of the other class setups a try, I highly recommend this one. That is my top 10 class setups here for you in Black Ops Cold War Season 4. Let me know if you would change any of them down in the comment section down below. Make sure you shoot your top 10 weapons to me. Maybe I can change my list in the future, and maybe my mind could be changed maybe in those later categories. My number 1, 2, 3, and 4, maybe in 5, are pretty on lock, unless some weapons get nerfed. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys smash the like button for me. That's the most effective way to support the channel. If you guys are new and would like to find your way back for more videos just like this one, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for me. That'd be absolutely fantastic, and I will be eternally grateful. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.